And Mr. Crowley, that opening piece, was
Yeah.
that already written, or is that something you came up with?
No, they just said they wanted an intro, and the band were kind of sitting along the next to Max along the desk, kind of. Oh, try this! I threw them all out. I said, go away for half an hour, come back, see what I've come up with. So it was just me and Max Norman, and Ozzy came back in. And he listened to it. He said, "It's like he plugged into my head."
Wow.
You know.
It's such an iconic piece of music.
Yeah.
And you wrote that?
Yeah.
Did you get credit for it?
Did I hell?
So you're in the Bob Daisley world as well, huh? You're in the Bob Daisley, Jakey Lee world of looking for credit for something you wrote that you didn't get.
What can I say? You know, at the time, Ozzy wasn't in a very good position. You know, he was down on his luck, so to speak.
Yeah.
Taking a tremendous chance putting a band together. You know, the finances were very murky for the band at that point. They didn't really have any money. So, you know, I'm just a musician. You just try and help.
So you got paid a session fee or
I did it
whatever
for a
to just
session
go
fee,
do it?
but of course I was on the road with the band for 4 years.
Yeah.
It was a very successful band.
You know, well, here's what's interesting. You mentioned you call it a band, and of course it was a band. Yeah. But I've talked to Daisley, and I've talked to Jakey Lee, and I've talked to some of the guys around at that time, and that is a big, especially for Bob, was a big point of contention in those early years, is that it was sold to him as a band, Blizzard of Oz, and it very quickly changed to Ozzy and a bunch of backing guys. So that was something that never quite sat right with him, because he felt it was a bit of a bait and switch, and it wasn't really a band.
Yeah, in spite of everything, I always felt it was a band, because Ozzy always knew deep down, that's the only way you're going to produce music, and the only way he could write songs is having a band around him that functioned.
Yeah. Right, because they did the bulk of the writing. Everybody knows Ozzy doesn't really write.
Well, he does.
He writes melodies.
He's brilliant at it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can play him anything, and he'll sing you a song.
Right. But as far as lyrics and stuff, Daisley wrote them, and Geezer wrote them, and Sabbath, and what have you.
Ozzy could come up with the lyrics as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't get the credit he deserves for
as a writer,
how good he was, as a singer, as a frontman for the band. I mean, it was always great. You know, we never did a bad show as far as I remember. He ran a very tight ship, though you'd think the opposite.
Yeah.
No,